This is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanisms in the game Brew, which I've just played at game night a few nights ago. I don't own a copy, so I just printed out some photos of my experience with this game. This is a competitive dice placement game where dice essentially serve as your workers, and you can tell which dice are yours because you have a certain color of dice. Like this was me, all the red dice were mine, and each player also has 2 of the white dice here. At least in a 4-player game. We were playing a 4-player game of Brew. Along the way, you were trying to gather ingredients, brew concoctions that give you special one-time bonuses once you drink those potions, and animal companions that join you along the way. So it's a very pleasant theme. However, as our teacher Tiffany described it, it is a very cute game, but also a very mean game because there's some very tight area placement, area control that happens here in this game from round to round. So a couple favorite mechanisms here. One, let me just say component mechanism or component element. I love custom dice in games, and I don't often see custom dice used for dice worker placement. We did that in Euphoria, but they were still kind of just pips on the numbers. These are different icons on the numbers, and I just love the look and feel, and even the different color combinations they chose for this game are really beautiful. So I wanted to mention that. 2 mechanisms that I really enjoyed. One is the core idea that you're using dice as worker placement, but B, how you actually place them on these cards that come out as it relates to area control. Because over the course of, 4 rounds, 5 rounds of the game, I think we played 4 rounds, I believe. Each round, a new set of cards comes out. So the worker placement options are different each round, and the area control options are different each round. So I like that variability. I like that we flowed through this worker placement. There wasn't there was a worker placement board, but it wasn't the main focus of the game. But there were these cards that came out for worker placement throughout the game. That was really neat to see. I love the idea that we had different worker placement actions throughout the game available through these cards. Area control. At the end of each round, you look at the different dice on each card, and if there is a color of die that where there are more dice than any other players or any other even type of die available on the card, you win the card itself, and they're worth points. I don't know if you can see them here, but they're worth points at the end of the round. And I've phrased that very specifically because at certain times you might be looking at dice controlled by other players. So in this case, we are tied right now, so no one is winning this card. This is my die, this is an opponent's die. If I put another red die here and the round ended that way with 2 red dice, I would control this card. However, we have these neutral dice. We all have these white dice, and the white dice apply to this area control as well. So you could stymie someone's attempt to gain control of a card simply by placing a white die there, even though you won't be gaining control of that card, because the white die, as soon as you place it, is no longer associated with you. You can't tell whose player it is. But I thought this was a really interesting element to divide up the worker placement into cards and to have those cards mean something in terms of area control at the end of each round. It does end up being a little bit mean. You might be playing, like there are several times. In fact, even in this round, I think I was planning on getting this card. I was hoping to get this card. I didn't end up getting either of them because of other dice that came down afterwards. But it created a nice tension and a strong reason to pay attention to what other players were doing and what they wanted throughout the game. So those are my favorite mechanisms in the game Brew. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, or if these mechanisms remind you of mechanisms in another game, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about that game in the comments below as well. Thanks.